Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I have a gameplay review here for you. This is Prospectors, and this has been a long-awaited review. I know, I've been saying that I'm going to be doing this review for months now. It's about time. For those of you that are not familiar with Prospectors, it is an OG game on Wax. It's been around longer than I have, longer than probably most people that follow this channel. So it's tried and true as far as it's not a rug pull. We'll just throw that one out there to start with it. It is a solid game. It's really a slow burn type of game. If you're looking for the slow grind, this is the game for you. Good track record. Something that I saw when I originally came to Wax. It was one of the first games that I saw when I joined Wax. But I never really got into it. And actually, for the longest time, I actually forgot about it until I started doing the top 10 games on Wax every month. And every single month that I do those reviews, I've gotten several people saying, why isn't Prospectors on the list? It's simply because I didn't really have a chance to play yet. But over the last month, I've jumped in and had a chance to play, and I'm trying to jump into it from a low point entry perspective. This is one of those games that has multiple ways you can enter the game. You can either go for like 11 wax entry point at the time of the recording, and get like the basics, so you can go ahead and mine and start building it up. Or you can go the whale route, where you just buy some land and you really, again, whale out. There's multiple entry points, and you can enter anywhere in between that also. So it's not just one or the other. So if you have a little bit of wax that you are looking to get into a solid slow burn style game, this may be the option for you. But again, the point of this gameplay review is going to be from the low point of entry perspective, the essentially 11 wax, and I'll explain that number here in a few minutes. 11 wax entry point. Go ahead and you can go ahead and start mining with your 3 miners. Let's go ahead and jump in there. Again, if you're not familiar with it, basically what Prospectors is, it's the OG mining game, where you go out there and you're mining different types of materials. You can craft, you can buy land, you can own land and hire people for jobs. So it's not just your typical miner game you see quite often in Wax. It's got a lot more depth to it, but from the initial point of view, it is a mining game. All right, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the website, and I'm actually not even going to dive into the white paper. I'm going to jump into the game itself, but I want to just kind of scroll down here because it shows you all the different things that you can do. You can build buildings. They've done a good job with this. So let's actually jump over to the game. When you first log into the game, you actually start right about this point, which is right in the middle of it, and you have on the right side, you have 3 miners that you're given right away. They have no tools, they have no resources. If you want to go and do the free-to-play option, which is an option, you can go ahead and just take these guys, go all the way to the outside of the map and start digging with your hands. It's painful because you're basically, you can only dig at an hour at a time. You get very few resources from your hands, but it is an option. So those of you that are only looking for free to play stuff, there you go. Or you want to test it out, you can do that also. But my recommendation, before we get to my recommendation for low point entry, let's actually do 2 things. First of all, I have to do the normal disclaimer, just because we are doing a gameplay review and it does involve some sort of jumping into a game. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research before you jump into any games. Whether I'm saying it or anyone else is saying it, make sure it's right for your situation. This may look great during the review, but once you dive into it, it might not be best for your situation. So I highly encourage you do your own research. All right, let's go over just the format of the screen before I dive into the way I'm playing the game. You have all the different tools around here, so you can see it's not just a straight mine 3 types of materials, craft it, and continue to churn away that way. There's a lot of different options. There's the global market where you can exchange and sell with other players that are in here. You have all the different products from the rare or from the resources that you get out of the land, materials that you can craft, all the way up to carts and wagons and things like that. In addition to the list that's on here, you also can build buildings on land that you own. So there's a whole level of depth here that you can go ahead if you really want to dive into this game, which is why it's been around here so long. You also have other things. I'm not going to dive into these too much. I encourage you to go ahead and explore. What I wanted to focus on for today's video is you have those 11 wax. You want to try out the game. This is what I did for myself. I personally did. I'm not saying I recommend. I personally did. You go over to the Alcor market and you go ahead and exchange 11 wax for roughly 15 PGL, which is the tradable token for the game. Once you have that PGL, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your account. You can do it 2 different ways. You can go to Alcor Market. That's the way I did it. You can actually exchange it directly within the game. I went Alcor Market just because that's what I'm used to. Every 1 PGL equals 1,000 gold. So if you're able to get 15 PGL, you can exchange it for 15,000 gold. And what 15,000 gold is going to get you is it's going to get you tools for each of your miners, all 3 miners, and it's going to get you the certificate that allows you to mine, instead of mining 1 hour at a time, which the free-to-play people get, it allows you to mine 5 hours at a time. Which is great because you can you're not spending the entire time by your computer. And if you're one of those that wants the slow burn style game where you only have to check it once or twice a day, that's a perfect option for you. All right, so once you get in here, you have your PGL. You can just go ahead here and exchange it. I've already done that, so I'm not going to go through the details of actually exchanging it. It's going to give you 15,000 gold. The first thing you want to do, there will be an icon up here. It is no longer here for me because I have already purchased it. To buy a certificate, I believe it was 10,000 gold. That's the certificate I just talked about to let you mine for 5 hours. There's some other benefits to it too, but that's really going to make the longevity of the game and the ease of use better for you. After you do that, you also want to go ahead and buy some tools. So you start here in this slot, which is 0, 0. If you look up here, right up here on the top, it shows your coordinates. So you see how it changes. Now it's 0/-2. You start at 0, 0. What you want to do is you want to take each of your people and you want to go over here to -0, -1, -1. Which, if I double click on there, you see it's the marketplace. It's where most of the resources are that people are selling. So you just go ahead and click in here, click on each of your people, and you click on this little arrow, and you'll say confirm. I'm far away from here right now, so I'm not going to run there. It's going to take you 15 minutes to go from the initial spot to this spot. So you go ahead and you hit confirm for each of your people. You'll have to do that for each of them, and that'll walk them over the marketplace. While you're doing that, you can go ahead and buy your tools. You can go ahead and either click on this is the marketplace building, or you can click on the icon that we showed before. Make sure you uncheck the wood, and then you scroll down the tools. The main tools that I started with was a shovel and a spade. If you get both those tools for each of your miners, the shovel and spade allow you to go ahead and mine clay. Now let's pause there for a second. There's a number of different combinations. If I go out here to the outside, and I'll explain this a little bit more shortly, you have all these different types of lands. You can do copper, which will show you, if you click on the different vein, it shows you the different tools that you'll need. For example, coal, you'll need a pickaxe and a shovel. For wood, you need an axe and a saw. So if you can go ahead and take a look at whatever resource that you want to go ahead and mine and go that route. My recommendation for this type of approach is going for the clay. If you click on the clay, it gives you there's spade and a shovel. in order to go ahead and do it. You can also do it with your hands. That's perfectly fine. It just takes forever, and you don't get a lot of resources when you're digging with your hands. You get a lot more resources when you dig with the spade and the shovel. So the spade and the shovel is also relatively cheap within budget of what we're talking about here. So if you go to the marketplace, you can go ahead and unclick wood because the wood by default is clicked. It just muddies the waters there. And then you scroll down to both a shovel, you can do one at a time, and a spade. You'll see them come up, and by default they are cheapest first all the way down to the most expensive. There's a couple things that you have to be aware here in the market. If it has any of these icons, unless you're in that clan, you can, or the alliance, you cannot purchase those. You bypass those. If you're in that alliance, you'll get them cheap. It's very hard to get in those alliances, so you automatically want to skip those. The other thing you want to watch out for, you see this percentage here. You see it 0, 1%. That's how much is left to use on these. There's people that actually go out there and they try and sell their completely used up tools. It's shady. Don't do it. Don't buy those. They're cheap prices. They'll get people to buy them all the time. Don't do it. So scroll all the way down until you see full green bar. You can click or put your cursor over it. It's 100 hours. There's no percentage next to it. That's your bare minimum. You don't want to get anything less than that. You'll see it's the cheapest one is 609. Now the next thing you want to look at is the location. Remember how I told you the location up here? That's where your person's located. If I go ahead and buy the cheapest one here, I have to go ahead and then travel to this location, which also takes quite a bit of time. So you want to take a look for your current location. Mine is -1, -1. So my cheapest would be here is the 620 for each of those. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'm not going to actually buy it. I'm going to buy 3 of those, and then you're good to go. You click on buy. You got 3 of these, which is the shovel. I had them mixed up last time, and then do the exact same process with the spade. Skip over the alliances, skip over the used ones, and you go down here and then go to your current location. I made the mistake once of buying it not at my current location, and it took me about 8 hours to walk there and 8 hours to walk back. Not fun. All right, so the cheapest one for me at this, again, watch out for that 0%. Someone's trying to scam you in there. So it's 648. You do the exact same process. You buy 3 of them. Once you buy both tools, what they're going to be is they're going to be in this supply. So they'll be stocked here. You see my storage. This is where they're going to be at. So you have them there for you. Your person will, once your person arrives there, remember I said it's about a 15-minute walk from the starting location. Then you just click on them. You click on your worker and you transfer it over to them. This is not my worker, so I can't really do anything, but I'm just showing you this as an example. You click on the item that you want to transfer. You click on move, and you move it either to their backpack or their equipped area. And then once you have everything moved over to each of your individual workers, remember 1 shovel and 1 spade per worker. Now is where the fun begins. All right, you have them fully equipped. You bought the certificate up here on the top. You spent all the money that you need to spend right now. You'll probably have some gold left over depending on the exchange rate. And now you need to go ahead and send them to go mine. So what you do is you click back out here, which was the arrow here. And since you don't own any land, if you own land, then you go to your land. I don't own any land, so you want to go to the far, far, far outside, the outskirts. And you can go to any land that's right on the outside here. You can see up here in the top where it says no resources. When I go over something, it's going to show you the resources that are on the land. This one has coal and this one has clay. Where my people are, they have copper, coal, and wood. Same with this one, copper, coal, and iron. So you want to go somewhere where you can get the clay if you have the spade and the shovel, which is what I just showed you how to do. If you have a pickaxe and a shovel, you can do copper and you can do coal. All you have to do is go ahead and click on the spot. We'll show you here. I'll go ahead and just click on this one. And then it shows you just the area. You can go ahead and double check the resources to make sure that there. The copper is what I'm mining right there. Just take a look up here to make sure that the jobs aren't completely full. Usually it has 10 jobs. It has 13 jobs. Just make sure it's not like 13 out of 13. So that, and then you just go to your person. You can either click here where it says go here. It's going to take me 10 minutes to walk there. I'll go ahead and do that just for the sake of the video. So you go ahead, and what you're going to see when you click on that, if you're coming here from the starting point or the market that I just showed you, it's going to take about 8 hours. So be aware of that. It's going to take a while. I did it while I slept, and then I walked out here. And you'll see over here it shows you the time frame that it's going to take for them to walk there. Once they're here, I'm going to show you from this example. Once they're here, you'll have the option to go ahead and do whatever you want to do. I'm gonna mine coal. Again, mining coal is a pickaxe and a shovel. Mining coal gives you, for every kilogram, gives you roughly, again, time of this recording this video, it gives you roughly, I think it was like 65, 67 pieces of gold for every kilogram. Clay is in the low 50s, I want to say. The last time I checked, I could actually, while we're on the video, check it for you. That would make sense. Let me, again, I'm sorry, 30s. The clay is going in the 30s, but the tools are a lot cheaper. The spade and shovel are a lot cheaper. For ore, it's going in the 60s. That price actually went up. I'm in the shovels. Silly. For the copper ore, it's 58s, high 50s, in order to sell those out there. So you can tell the price is significantly higher, almost double. But the price for the pickaxe is a lot more expensive. So if you want to go ahead and put 15, 20 wax in there, and you want to go for the higher tools to be able to mine ore with a pickaxe, go for it. Figure out what's best for your situation. That's another option you can do. All right, let's jump back here. And so that's the reason I'm doing ore, is because I was able to purchase the pickaxe. Now that I'm in here, you'll see that since my two guys are here, these two workers, I can go ahead and click on go to work. It's going to give you the total number of hours. If you did not buy that certificate, it's only going to give you 60 minutes. If you have the full rest available, you'll have 300 with the certificate. Since I recently mined and my guys are still recovering, I have a little bit less. So I'm going to go ahead and click on work. And then what you're going to see here is you're going to see I'm mining for the next 4 hours and 8 minutes. During that time frame, I'll go ahead and able to get ore. Once that 4 hours and 8 minutes is up, there is a cooldown period, which is, I believe, equal to what you worked. So, for example, when he's done, it's going to take 4 hours and 8 minutes for him to cool down to be able to do the full work again. If you only want to do an hour, you can let it cool down for an hour amount of period. That's up to you. But during the mining period, there's nothing you can do. During the walking period, there's nothing you can do for that worker. I'm going to do the same process here for 255 minutes. Click on that, let him work. And what's going to happen is they're going to mine for ore. If you click on the worker, you'll see what they have in their backpack. You see that I already have 22. Ooh, I actually should probably, whoops. I need to go over and sell some of my stuff. So I have 22 kilograms of ore, and then I have my pickaxe in there, which weighs, your pickaxe does weighs 5 kilograms. So once I'm done with this mining, I'm going to hike back to the market, sell this off, and go ahead and do the process all over again. So you can see what you have in there. You can see the different characteristics. This is where it adds more depth to the game. As you get more and more gold, you can go ahead and go for different diplomas, which give you different specialties. This one can go ahead and make different items. And that's how you add value. You can mine for certain items, go ahead and craft them into different things that are used for building, or they're used for crafting different tools. That's how you can continue to add to the depth of the game and continue to build up, get all the diplomas. You can basically build anything. And there's also another aspect in there as far as finding jobs. What people do is they go out there and they build on their plot of land that they own, and they build different buildings that either allow you to mine, or as they're building through actually doing the building process, or even transporting their goods to the market, they can post jobs where they'll pay you a certain amount of gold for every kilogram that you mine or every minute that you have to travel. And then you can earn money that way. That's another way to do it, especially the transportation jobs. If I click over here and you see all these transportation jobs, let me unclick this. These are available for most people. Some of them do have alliances, and you're only good for alliances. But you can take a look at that where they're transporting certain items, and you can get a certain rate depending on the number of kilograms that you can carry. So that's another way to make gold if you want to go the free-to-play route. You don't necessarily want to mine. You can do these transportation jobs to earn gold to the point where you can get tools for yourself. So there's a lot of different ways you can play this game. There's a lot of depth. It's actually really neat, and I don't have any land, but the land part of it's also pretty neat as far as if you own that and start building up on it, hiring people, and then they mine and you pay them and do all that fun stuff. So there's some people that put a lot of effort and a lot of time into this game. Something to definitely check out if you like that style, if you like building your own, I guess you can say empire on the mining side. It's got the depth there, so it's pretty cool. What are my overall thoughts of the game? Like I said, if you're going the free to play or the low entry point, it is a grind. It's slow going. You have to understand that it's going to take you 8 hours to get from one spot to another. It could take up to 8 hours. You also have to understand the mining takes, for example, 300 minutes to get 3 kilograms of materials, and then you need another 300 minutes just to cool down and refresh, and then do that over and over and over again. You have to keep in mind that it is a grind. The team's good behind it. They've been around for a long time. It's a very stable game. Again, it's an OG game on wax. So it's definitely worth something getting into. I'm not sure it's in my top 10 as far as my personal preference goes, but I would say it's definitely in the top 15 as far as games on wax, as far as stable games on wax go that you can go ahead and that is play to earn. You can own different parts of the game, and you can, if you do really well with it, and you can earn from it. So I hope you all enjoy this video. I hope this is something that you can take back. Might be a great game for you if that's the style of game that you like. I hope you all have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.